Welcome to The Explainer, where today we're jumping right into the massive shift in artificial intelligence that's happening as we speak, here in 2026. It's being called a Cambrian explosion for a reason. We're seeing simple AI tools evolve like incredibly fast into these complex collaborative systems. So let's dig into what this new AI ecosystem actually looks like.
So what's driving this explosion? Really? Check out this number, 327%. That is the insane growth in multi-agent AI systems being put to work inside businesses right now. This isn't a forecast. This is a real-time seismic shift that's telling us the very nature of how companies operate is changing.
And this is the really big idea you need to grab onto. AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's not just a smarter spreadsheet. No, we're blowing past simple automation and entering an age of autonomous, collaborative, digital coworkers that can think, plan, and get things done on their own.
So, what does this new AI workforce actually look like? And what makes it so different from all the tech that came before? Let's break it all down. This slide just nails the difference. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, RPA, or robotic process automation. These are basically dumb bots. They follow super rigid if-then scripts, and the second something changes in the process, they just break. But on the right, you have Agentic AI. These guys don't follow scripts, they get the goal. It's the difference between a hammer and a carpenter. One follows orders, the other understands the project. It's not even the same sport.
So how did we get here? Well, this huge leap from rigid bots to truly intelligent systems didn't just appear out of thin air. It's been an evolution, and just like in biology, it happened in stages.
And this right here, this visualizes that journey perfectly. We've watched AI systems go from being these simple, isolated organisms to becoming part of this complex, intelligent ecosystem. Let's walk through the three big stages.
So first, you had the single agent. Think of these as total specialists. They were amazing at one thing inside their own little bubble, right? Like a customer support chatbot or a personal assistant that just handles your calendar. But the problem was they couldn't talk to each other to solve bigger problems. Useful, for sure, but really limited.
Then things evolved. We got to stage 2, loosely coupled agents. Now you have multiple agents working side by side, but they're not really collaborating in a deep way. A good example is an AI coding setup where one agent writes the code, another one tests it, and a third one reviews it. They're working in parallel, sure, but it's not really a team effort just yet.
And that brings us to where we are right now, the era of the orchestrated system. This is the real game changer. You have this central orchestration layer that acts just like a conductor leading a symphony. It's not playing any instruments itself, but it's directing this whole team of specialized agents, guiding them all to work together to achieve these big, complex goals. This is the magic that's unlocking a whole new level of autonomy.
Okay, so let's make this real. Let's look at the actual anatomy of one of these systems, and we'll use the world of finance, because the revolution is happening there at a crazy speed.
The easiest way to think about this is like a person, really. You've got the core, which is the data, the single source of truth. Then you've got the brain. That's the powerful orchestration layer we were just talking about that does all the thinking and planning. And then you have the hands, which are all the specialized agents for things like accounts payable or tax that actually do the work.
And check this out. This diagram breaks down how that brain actually operates. That central orchestration layer gives jobs to the worker agents. They're the ones on the front lines. At the same time, you have service agents making sure everything is high quality and compliant, and support agents are just monitoring the whole system to make sure it's running smoothly. It's like a self-managing, self-correcting team. It's brilliant.
And the results of this new workforce? Absolutely staggering. Just take one example, invoice processing. Something that used to take a human team, maybe with some old RPA help, 5 to 10 days, can now be done by an agentic system in just 24 to 48 hours. Think about what that does for a business. That's a massive leap forward.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But with all this new power comes a whole new set of really urgent legal and regulatory questions. The tech is moving way, way faster than the law, and that's creating a very messy situation.
Let's just play this out for a second. Imagine an AI agent acting completely on its own, signs a disastrous contract that costs your company millions of dollars. Who's on the hook? Is it the developer who made the agent? The company that used it? The person who gave it the original goal? Who's responsible?
And the honest, kind of scary answer? Nobody really knows for sure. The legal system is playing a frantic game of catch-up. The courts haven't made any clear rulings on this yet, which means companies are operating in this huge legal gray area.
And that's not the only legal minefield. What about the data these AIs were trained on? The reason they're so smart is because they've ingested just enormous amounts of information from the internet. But was all of that data, including copyrighted books and articles, used legally?
This isn't some small-time lawsuit. Huge court battles like the one between the New York Times and OpenAI are happening right now. And the outcomes here could literally rewrite the rules for the entire AI industry. A bad ruling could force developers into massive licensing deals or even change how these models can be built and used, period.
And because there's no single federal law in the US to guide all of this, the states are jumping in. What we're getting is this chaotic patchwork of state rules. You've got Colorado demanding impact assessments, Texas banning certain uses, and Utah insisting on disclosure. It's a total maze for any business trying to stay compliant.
So, with all this complexity in this fast-moving new world, what are you, as a leader or an organization, supposed to do to get ready to lead this new digital team?
All right, so here's the game plan. According to the experts, 4 crucial things you need to do like right now. First, inventory. You got to know what AI you even have. You can't govern what you don't know exists. Second, update your vendor contracts. Get ahead of those liability issues now. Third, for compliance, just aim for the strictest state law out there as your baseline. That way, you're pretty much covered. And finally, prepare. Have an incident response plan ready to go before an AI makes a mistake, because it will happen.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway, really. This isn't about humans versus machines. It's about creating a totally new hybrid workforce. The leaders who are going to win in the future are the ones who figure out how to manage a blended team of human experts and their new digital coworkers.
You know, this whole shift, it just demands a new way of leading and a new way of thinking. A world where your most productive new employee might not be human? Well, that world isn't coming, it's here. The only question left is, are you ready to manage them?